There I was standing on national television in full pilot gear, looking straight down the barrel of the camera while I knew my mother was watching from some cafe. The reporter asked me who I wanted to dedicate my record-breaking flight to, and I knew exactly what to say to absolutely destroy her. But before I tell you the words that made her break down in public, let me back up so you understand why this moment meant everything to me. It all started years ago when I was just a kid holding a broken toy helicopter, staring up at a woman who was supposed to love me, but only saw a disappointment. She hated that I wanted to fly planes instead of doing ballet. She looked at me with pure disgust and told me over and over that girls don't fly. One night, I tried to fix my toy and accidentally shorted the power to the house, and that was her breaking point. She screamed that I was useless, told me to get out, and said she regretted ever having a child like me. I sobbed the entire way to Grandpa Daniel's house, clutching that shattered plastic helicopter to my chest. I felt completely abandoned and terrified that nobody wanted me. When Grandpa opened the door, I expected him to be angry too, but he just pulled me into the tightest hug and told me I was finally safe. He looked me in the eye and said something I never forgot. He said, "Remember, sweetheart, girls can fly higher than anyone." I stayed with him and poured every ounce of my energy into proving him right. I studied and trained while my mother pretended I didn't even exist. For years, she went around town bragging about my two brothers and how successful they were, painting this picture of a perfect family that I wasn't allowed to be part of. Whenever friends would ask about her daughter, she would just wave her hand dismissively and say, "Don't mention her because she's useless." She thought she had erased me from the narrative, but she had no idea I was about to become the headline. One random afternoon, my mother was sitting in a high-end cafe with her circle of friends. She was probably bragging about my brothers or gossiping about someone else's failures. She felt perfectly in control of her little world until one of the ladies suddenly gasped and pointed a shaking finger at the television screen mounted on the wall. The woman asked, "Isn't that your daughter?" And my mother's face went completely white as she turned to look because she hadn't seen my face in years. There I was on the news channel, standing tall in a pilot's jumpsuit with my helmet tucked under my arm, looking exhausted but triumphant after landing a highly dangerous solo test flight. The news anchor was practically shouting with excitement, announcing that I was the youngest pilot to ever achieve this level and that the Air Force had officially labeled me a prodigy. The entire cafe went dead silent as every single person turned to stare at my mother. She looked like she was about to pass out because the useless daughter she threw away was now a national hero. The reporter shoved a microphone in my face and asked the big question. She wanted to know who I dedicated this massive achievement to. I looked straight into the camera lens because deep down I knew she was watching. I took a steady breath and said, "This is for my grandfather," because he was the only one who told me girls can fly. Then I leaned in closer and added softly, "And this is also for my mother. You never believed in me, but I still took off anyway. I didn't do this just to defy you. I did this to save the little girl you tried to silence." Back in the cafe, my mother broke down in tears, realizing she had lost me forever. She finally understood that you can't clip the wings of someone born to reach the sky. Because sometimes the dreams people try the hardest to kill are the ones we fight the hardest to keep alive. If you believe no dream is too big and no goal is too small, drop a heart and comment "Fly High" to show your support.